This week's episode is brought to you by Humango, Super League Triathlon's official AI coaching partner. Humango is a unique training platform that will improve athletic motivation and performance because it understands how we train and why we train. Hugo, their AI assistant, understands your goals and changing commitments to continuously build an adaptive training plan with regular guidance for athletes of all levels. Here we go with another one. The Chute Show is back. It is June. Macca is out. He has been cut, and we have upgraded to 2018 World Champ Vicky Holland. Tim Donnie's here as well after dropping another 2 spots down the fastest Ironman ever list. I don't know where he is now, 8, 9, 10. And Annie Emmerson is here, having maintained her place as a former world number 1. An all-British panel for this episode of the Chute Show, which hurts. Plenty to talk about today. SLT season is a go. We have all the places and the dates, plus the new wrinkles for season 2022, including the fan team, where we've just taken pretty much all responsibility away from Annie, which was our main goal for this year. There's been tons of racing.
You did a good job, Annie. Also, you did a good job.
There's no more decisions from you, champ. We'll chat Leeds. Plenty of action there. And, of course, the Phoenix Sub-7, Sub-8 project as well, whether you loved it or hated it. And there was plenty going on that one, and it's really split opinion, which is cool. And I'm going to start with you, Vix, and your little friend. How are you? Welcome to the show. You're so much better to have on than Chris McCormack.
Yeah, I think people prefer my accent to Chris's, don't they? Just the very, the clipped British. Yeah, no, thanks for having me on. Delighted to be here. My little dog Winnie is here as well because she's needy, to be honest with you. That's pretty much all it comes down to. Yeah, you know what?
Super League.
She's actually pretty much asleep right now on my shoulder. I told you, needy. Yeah, Super League. Let's start with Super League, hey? Going to be another cracking season. We've got 5 races this year rather than the 4 that we had last year, but a little bit of a break in between it. I think that makes it a bit better for the athletes personally. I know for me, when I raced last year's season, my gosh, by the time we got to Malibu, there was a few of us hanging on. So I think having just a couple of spaces in there will be really good. There was a lot of us that got a bit sick on the way to Malibu just from the, continuous racing and stuff. So I think this will just make the quality of racing even better.
Annie, so your dog was here a second ago. Annie, what's the name of your dog? This is Winnie. What's your dog's name again?
I know it's amused you a lot, Will, but my dog is called Putsborough. And as an Aussie dude...
Hold on, you can't just say that and carry on. What's your dog called? Putsborough.
Putsborough. And
Putsborough.
Putsborough.
Oh, yeah, that's a very traditional English name, isn't it? Maybe not.
In the 14th century.
It's surfing. And the funniest thing, Will, is you're mocking my dog, but I tell you what, I mean, that guy could give you a serious run for your money. He's only a little thing, but I wouldn't just sit there laughing, mocking his name if I was you.
Could you imagine though, Annie I'm imagining Annie outside has this huge grass lawn, with statues and stuff, and she's got a wine in one hand and she's pottering around going, Putsborough, come back, Putsborough. Spilling wine all over the shop.
So far, she's practicing her hurdles with a glass of champagne on each hurdle. Yeah. What?
Annie,
Putsborough, come on, under.
Tally ho, etc.
Ignore these boys.
Well, I mean, you're not going to like it. I'm sorry. I had a dream about you. I think because I knew I was coming on this show, and you lived in a chateau, and you were drinking wine on fine gravel.
That's only for the summer.
Balcony.
I absolutely love it. Oh my God, no, unfortunately I don't live in a chateau, but I love the fact that you obviously have some sort of impression or something that I do when I do. But anyway.
It's your voice, I think it is. In fact, Macca is not here because he is in a French chateau right now on a bike jaunt with a whole bunch of other middle-aged men in Lycra. So I'm very happy to have Vicky here instead. As you said, Vix, let's crack on to the SLT season. Tim, I'll start with you. We go to London on the 4th of September, Munich on the 11th, and Malibu on the 17th. So there will be, old semi-retired athletes with their asses hanging out at the back end of that 3 weeks. But Tim, you could do it with ease, obviously. And then we do take a 2-week break and go to Toulouse, which is something new. What are your impressions on that season as it stands?
As it stands, I think it's good. I think, as Vicky said, there were some tired athletes at the end, so you're going to get, better quality. And also, we're not coming off the back of an Olympic Games, so people are going to maybe be fresher. That emotional roller coaster of preparing for a delayed Olympic Games, I think, definitely affected people. Some of the thought of contenders were not contenders because they'd taken its toll, in Tokyo. But yeah, it's great to go to a new city. I think the fact we've got Paris in 3 years, so to, start in Toulouse, hopefully we can move further north. So in 3 years' time, we're going to have a SLT under the Eiffel Tower. But it'd be interesting to see what formats they choose as well. Because we've got, as you said, we've got 4 races and a different venue. I presume Munich and London will stay the same. I wonder what they'll pick, and Malibu. I don't know if Malibu will be that eliminator, because normally they save that for the grand final. So we'll see. But yeah, no, I'm really excited. I never went to Munich last year, so I'm really looking forward to watching my Eagles fly high there.
Yeah, and we're going to get to that and the draft and everything about that in just a second. Annie, you're happy as well going back to these same places? I mean, London looked amazing. I wasn't there. Obviously, I'm hoping to be there this year. And Munich offered something completely different too. Hey, there's no excuses now. The borders are open. Now it's just going to be purely because they just don't want me, not because of COVID.
Basically, yeah.
But yeah. And to go back to those two, they're good. They're good additions to the calendar. It certainly looked amazing in London, especially.
London was just an incredible venue, coming out of what we've come out of and being in one of the wealthiest cities in the world. It was just stunning. Tim and I were blown away. The course is like super challenging. It's really technical. There's quite a lot to deal with there in terms of riding over cobblestones. I think, as everyone knows, like, triathlon is so big in this country, and like with Alex Yee, hopefully if he's around and racing Super League, sort of like just as a crow flies a few miles in southeast London. It's such a brilliant event, and there were so many people there last year, and we were still with restrictions, so this year will be even better. Munich was amazing. What a course that was. Bloody hell, that was seriously tough. Love that. And, well, Malibu's Malibu, isn't it? So that's great. And Toulouse, it's going to be a wonderful addition. And actually, Tim, you said 3 years until the Olympics. It's only 2.
Oh, yeah.
Tim, get it right,
yeah,
mate.
yeah. I know. God,
Yeah,
I have to change
I've got
to change my training now, so I'm prepped and ready for racing.
Yeah,
I
just wanted to warn you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Just laugh.
That's cool.
Will and I going for we're going for the mixed relay. Will and I.
That's it. World Masters Games 2025.
Oh,
it's 3 years
away.
It
probably exists. It probably exists. 2 years away.
Some new
additions. It comes around.
It does, doesn't it? Well, that's what happens when you delay one a year. Some new things going on for season 2022. Obviously, the grand final is going to be on October 29th, so there's going to be another big gap and lead up to the grand final. We don't know where that's going to be yet, but stay on superleaguetriathlon.com or all the socials channels to make sure you're the first to know. Sign up to the newsletter as well. The fan team.
Do you know where? Have you got any?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, we all do.
Oh.
Don't you?
No.
Oh, weren't you on that email? It was just for the executive team, mate.
Sorry, I'm a couple of levels below you guys. Oh,
ooh,
man,
yeah.
I have to get the bus to the races. You guys are flying first class. That's how
you'll probably get the email the same time we give it to the interns. Okay, first of all, I don't know if there is an executive team, and I certainly don't know if there's any interns or not. Nobody tells me anything. I'm just guessing. But the biggest wrinkle, Annie, is the fan team, right? And you can find out about that. It's already up on the website now.
Hi, I'm Annie Emmerson, team manager of the SLT Cheetahs. And I'm here to tell you that this year, Super League Triathlon is ripping up the rulebook.
We're giving you, the fans, the opportunity to be a fan team owner. You get to pick the team.
Make major tactical decisions. Help Team Cheetahs decide who takes the short shoot. Help design the team kit. Meet all the athletes, and you could also come to every single Championship Series race. This is an unprecedented opportunity in the sport of triathlon. This is fantasy triathlon in real life. Don't just watch the team, be the team.
Annie, tell us about the fan team, mate. I mean, because it seems like we have just absolved you of all decision-making for your cheetahs.
Yeah, I mean, listen, what can I say about that? I don't really know what to say about that. I'm really disappointed. But on the same page, I think it's going to be exciting. incredibly exciting. I won't talk about the conversation we had prior to going on air, what you guys were suggesting, but the fan team is an incredible concept. It really is. It gives people out there a chance to really be part of the team, to help design the kit, to even travel with the team, to make decisions for the team. I just think it's a wonderful opportunity, really.
Yeah,
Will they help you pick the team as well?
fans.superleaguetriathlon.com. What's that?
Will they help you pick the team as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
wow,
right,
that's
isn't
amazing.
it? I went through. So basically all the things that, you can sign up to different tiers, depending on how deep your pockets are, I suppose, at fans.superleaguetriathlon.com, and you can design the kit. There's 3 different options. You can get your name on it. You can be part of the team selection. So you can basically be the puppet master behind Annie when she does the draft, because she's going to have to do what the fans want her to do. How many votes will it take, Vicky, before you can come back? I mean, how many times do we need to vote for you before you were like, okay, if the fans want it, then I'll come back to the Cheetahs. Switch from the Eagles.
To be honest, I'm still recovering from my scorpion kick entry into the Malibu waters. Do you love how the Super League social account loves to reuse that clip? And it's so funny because I never get tagged in it. I think a lot of people don't realise that was me, and I've not kind of publicly owned up to it until now, but it was definitely me. But actually what was really funny at the time, I don't recall it like that. It was like, oh, I didn't get in the water very well, but like I don't really remember anything happening. And I watched that clip back and I think, how did I not break my spine? Like it really wasn't fantastic. So yeah, no, I'm an old lady now and I can't risk anything more like that going wrong in my life.
Yeah, I think the reason why they don't tag you in is because they need all the characters in the caption to explain all the reasons why this is very much the wrong way to do it.
Can I, in my defense, just say that was the final round of the Eliminator in Malibu. I really wasn't very well. I'd scraped through to the final round and I don't even really remember that much. I just headed for the water and hoped, and it didn't go well.
Well, you wouldn't be alone there.
Vicky, in fairness, wouldn't you like to have seen Will have an attempt of going through those ways? Because that would have been...
I'm coming to Malibu.
It's harder than it looks. It is harder than it looks.
You just keep running. Like, I'm Australian. We run in and out. That's the only thing I know how to do. Once I get past the breakers, that's when things start to go really bad.
You've got to get through the breakers.
Yeah. That's easy.
That's the tough part.
That's easy. I like Trevor Hendy, mate. Just like, you don't even know who that is, but...
everyone knows Hendy. In fact, we've got one of your greats. Remember Phil Clayton?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in England now at the moment. He's coaching the British Triathlon squad. I've heard.
Right this minute.
Yeah.
He's
here this week. Yeah. Good old Clado from Uncle Toby's.
Clado.
I used to train with him in the 90s in Miami on the Gold Coast.
Well, there you go. You guys love to steal our talent. It's just like you guys trying to claim Max Stapley. Anyway, extra things you can do. You can pick who's going to take the short shoot within the Cheetahs team. You can get exclusive content from Annie. You can get free and discounted tickets, merch, travel. You can stay with the athletes. You can train with them. You can, I don't know what else you can do with them. It depends how much money have you got. You can even adopt a real cheetah. Okay, get that. His name is Rocket, and you can adopt him. And I want to have him sitting in the commentary, sitting in the hosting position, so I can like stroke his head menacingly while I'm talking.
Actually, Will, you've got to pay for that. So
I will. I'm very well off.
You got to buy into the Cheetahs.
I have a chateau.
You also adopt an eagle, a scorpion, a rhino, and what have I missed?
And a shark.
And a shark. We've got the shark from Malibu. He was in the water. That's the one you can have that exact shark that was in Malibu.
Rhino's Ronnie, so he's your rhino. So
nobody wants a rhino.
Ronnie.
Rhinos were last. They were the worst. Hang on, what was the order anyway? Last year it was Tim Don and the Eagles. Then it was Macca and the Scorpions. Then it was Michelle and the Sharks. Then it was Annie and the Cheetahs. So that's why they were like, right, well, we need the fans to make the decisions because Annie's come out off the podium. And then Ronnie's Rhinos were just like ambling along poorly in the back and never contended. So the teams this year will be completely different. Not completely different, but the way it's going to work is there's going to be another draft. And the team managers, and I'm looking at you, Emmerson and Don, will be given the option to retain one male and one female from your 2021 team. And then all non-retained athletes and any new athletes that are coming in will go into the draft pool. Now, if you decide not to retain any of your athletes and you're like, wipe everyone, get rid of Holland, she was terrible, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
What? When?
Yeah, exactly. Who's that? Honestly, I only realised that I only remembered you were in the thing when I looked up the website this morning. I was like, there she is.
She's one.
She
I
was
wasn't
still
even
going.
thanks, Phil. I came
Vicky was one of our
fifth
top
overall,
stars.
you know.
She got the podium in London. She was killing it.
Yeah.
I know. I obviously know that. I'm
Brutal.
just taking the opportunity to wind you up. And if you don't retain anyone, Annie, probably a good decision for you not to retain anyone, having come fourth. You get the chance to.
That's not fair. We had an incredible team. Hang on a minute.
Yeah, but it's a different year.
I
I
would
mean, look at
definitely
Sophie
keep
Coldwell
that.
this year
So-
compared. She's.
So Tony Brown and
flying.
Sophie Coldwell are on my team, absolutely, without a shadow
now
of a
she's
doubt.
been released
There
from
you
the cheaters. She's flying. She's not weighed down.
She's flying over to the Eagles.
Possibly. If you don't pick anyone, you'll get the chance to take a first draft pick, and then everyone else will go into the draft as per 2021 with the snake draw from 1 to 5 until all the athletes are picked up. And we announced a whole bunch of athletes on Tuesday, just gone. If you missed that, in the men, we have announced and who will be part of the entire series. Hayden Wild, Johnny Brownlee with his broken elbow. Justus Nieschlag gets a run. Kenji Nina comes across from the Arena Games as well. Martin Van Riel, Matty Hauser, Max Stapley comes in for the first time. Firmly Australian. I know he lives in Leeds. Doesn't matter. Morgan Pearson is a really interesting one. He joins the
Hold
crew.
on, isn't Max? I thought Max was a Kiwi.
No.
No,
Why
it's
are you
not
saying
me.
that, Tim?
Oh, sorry, Will. Just checking.
Oh, jeez, mate. Tyler Mislachuk is back. Vincent Lewis is back. And he looks like he's back to some form too. I mean, apart from the fact that he can't count laps, and we'll get to that. But outside of that,
Why didn't Tyler race last year? Was he injured or ill? Because he's been pretty good at the old fast.
Injured.
I don't know.
Fast stuff.
Injured.
Was he injured?
I think he was
Oh,
injured off the back of the Olympics last year.
Oh, okay.
So off that list,
He was into going into the Olympics, wasn't he? So yeah, it was never going to be.
is he still your number one pick? You know, if you guys had to pick someone out of this list, and you've got the Falcon, and you've got Johnny, and you've got Van Riel, and Hauser, and Pearson,
Hold on,
and
what about
Mislachuk,
Alex? Is Alex
Well,
doing
he's not in-
Kona? Is that the
he's
rumor?
not in-
I heard a rumor.
Alex Yee
Yeah, didn't you know that?
doing Kona.
I think Tim Don's starting rumours over here, actually.
It's a wild card.
He's doing that.
I'm getting
He's
worried.
going, well, if Blumenfeld can do it, I can do it. I can do it.
Get on
Win
this
an Olympic
list,
medal
mate.
and
We
go
need you.
Kona. I'd love to see him out there, though. I think it'll be hilarious. And he'd
I'd
probably
love to see
be
the
a lot better
marathon
than what
that
he
you can do.
Do you pick Vince first? Now, Annie, what do you think?
Do I pick? Sorry, who do I pick?
I mean,
I missed that bit.
if I told you that list of wake up, Annie. If I was going to tell you that list, would you still pick Vince? He was number one draft pick last year. Would you still pick Vincent Lewis number one if you had anyone?
Oh my God, you can't bet against him in Super League, but
Yeah, you can, 100%.
Hold on. So you're picking Vince, but you've already got Johnny because he's in the cheaters. So you're not retaining Johnny. So you basically
Oh, I can't
say
believe
no,
that.
Have Johnny in Vince.
No,
He has one
I'm
crash,
sorry,
and you
I'm
throw him to the
sorry.
Wolves or to the Scorpions.
No, I'm sticking with Johnny. He's only got a little cracked elbow. He's absolutely fine come September.
Will you
Absolutely
retain
on
Johnny?
fire. No.
You'll do what the fans tell you to do.
That's true. I've been bought. I've lost all my rights. It's that's the way it goes.
Yeah. But if
Vicky,
you had
who
your
would you
choice, you
pick?
pick Johnny. What about you, Vicky? If you
I
were
would
in
pick
charge,
Johnny.
would you pick Vince first, or would you pick Johnny, or would you pick the Falcon? Who would you pick?
It's early to pick because it's so early in the season. But on form at the moment, I think I'd have to pick Hayden. I think I'd have to go for the Falcon. He's in really good form. I think he's better this year than he was last year. He's always been good
And
at
he can
Super League
take-
with that in mind.
he can take the opposition out as well. If he doesn't think he can beat them, he'll just take them out.
Man.
Low blow.
Too soon. Ouch. TD, do you keep Jess and Alex if they're both announced? I don't know whether they will be or not. I don't know the athletes that are coming. I only know the ones that have been announced. So, provided that Jess Learmonth is better and Alex Yee is there, do you retain both?
Oh, definitely, 100%. Yeah.
Got to, surely.
But from this list, I would pick, my first pick from this list would be Maddie Hauser.
Yeah, me too. No, I want him. I want
you go Johnny, then you go Vince, and now you go Maddie Hauser.
And he's always all of them.
All of them.
We get one pick, and he gets 3. How rich are these fans?
But did you see Matt Hauser's? Coming in. Matt Hauser's transitions in the mixed team relay in Leeds were terrible, but every athletic discipline was quality. What's that?
He fell over.
Well, that's part of it, isn't it?
Well, I know, but it wasn't his actual transition skill that was really bad. It was the fact that he fell over coming out of T2, but then he ran
in front of the other.
He fell over. That's why it was terrible, mate. You can't fall over. It's a waste time. Like you're going to fall back.
State the obvious, Will, but I mean, yes, I know, but I'm just saying his actual transition skill wasn't the problem. He probably just came in a bit hot or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why they were bad.
Will, who would you pick out of that list? Will, if you were a team manager, if you bought in, who would you pick?
If anyone cared what I thought, first of all, there's so many good options there, but I would
covering all bases, very politically.
I would probably
sit on the fence a bit more.
Still take. I would probably. You know what? I'll take Vince. You know. He's angry. He wants it back. I mean, yeah, he's just been so good for so long. But Matt Hauser is a good shout. His run at the back end of that mixed team relay was just superb. Like the amount of time he made up, he gets it right. I think he's going to have a year. What about the women?
And the funny, who
carry on.
Being retained? No, I was going to say, but in 2 weeks' time after Montreal, we'll probably be picking different people. That's how close it is at the top. Because if Hayden takes out a few more, the talent pool is going to get smaller and smaller.
You are. So, I mean, he would open himself up to that if he wasn't so contrite in his interview afterwards. He was so devastated.
Oh, I'm only joking.
Emotionally, and you just step in.
That's only why I'm saying it, because I know how genuinely bad he feels, and it was just a sporting incident. I'm only joking. He's a top fella.
Classic Don. Never has anything nice to say about anyone. He's never in a good mood. Classic. All right, let's move on to the women. Beth Potter is in. Emma Jeffcoat is back after a couple of years that we haven't seen her. Georgia Taylor-Brown. Kirsten Casper is back too. Good to see her back. Leonie Perriot, Nicole Vanderkay, Rachel Clammer, Sian Rainsley, who had another great race on the weekend and is coming on really well, and Yuko Takahashi. That's just half. But, you know, everyone wants... What team was Georgia on? I've forgotten. What team were they on?
Scorpions.
Well, she's not leaving the Scorpions. There's no way Macca gives her up.
Yeah, because if she was available right now, she's got to be my first pick. But 100%. I don't think there's any way that Macca's letting her go. That said, you know, Macca's got a problem.
Oh, is that a GTB top?
That's a GTB top.
Oh.
As
you know
worn, unwashed?
Oh, no, that's clean. She gave it to me in Malibu because she needed to get kit printed, and her manager was too busy, so I had to go and sort it all out.
And then you never gave it back to her?
Well, she gave me a couple of kits because they changed the fabric, and she preferred one to the other. But we got, you see.
You wear that when you swim train. Do you wear that?
Matilda wants to race in it, bless her.
Oh,
you fit
right.
That,
I was just saying that Macca, if Beaugrand is back in, and she's not confirmed right now, but he's got Beaugrand and Georgia, so he can only retain one, surely.
Oh, he took the first 2 steps of the Leeds podium there. He'd be sitting pretty.
I know.
Do you know what? He'd take Georgia because she's in Bahrain and Phoenix. Well, Cassandra's just in. Is she just in Bahrain?
Isn't she as well?
Just in Bahrain.
She's not Phoenix, so.
Yet.
I think you've got to take I like, as much as Cassandra's on a royal roll, you've got to take the defending champ.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
I think so. Then, I mean, Cassandra isn't even on our list at the moment, so we don't know if she's coming back. But if she was coming back,
well, she's in Loughborough. I go and ask her. She's just down the road from me at the moment. She's moving back to England. Did you hear that?
Is it? I thought she'd been there the whole time.
But no, she'd been back and forth. But I think the plan is she might study here next year. But I don't know if that's official.
Hopefully how's her English? It must be a lot better, because every time I've spoken to her, she just runs away from me because she has no idea what I'm saying.
That's just you, Welsh. Her English is perfect. She drinks champagne with Annie in her chateau and her dog Pugwash.
Pugsley. What's his name again? Putsborough.
You got to bring him to London. I can't wait to meet this dog. I'm having visions of this dog.
Does he wear little booties and like a little coat, and you just like touch his head like this?
Dogs of Super League. This could be a whole feature.
In, Putsborough. Yeah. Come on, Putsborough. Come on now, up to Mummy's table.
Anyone who's like watching, look at this guy. Look at him.
Now we can't say anything because he's so cute. That's so
He is cute.
Just emotionally blackmailed us.
He's the best running buddy. This guy will run and run and run. It's not that my pace is that quick these days, but look at him. There we go.
I just got visions of Tim, your husband, shouting his name when he's lost. And everyone's going, what is going on?
What's up? He's good value on a fox hunt or whatever you British people get up to.
Oh, yeah, that's what we all do well.
Yeah, we're always fox hunting. Every weekend we're out there, Will. Yeah.
We just have
always
dingoes,
can't
mate.
stop myself.
In between the tennis as well.
Yeah.
So who would you keep off there, Vicky? So Georgia's gone. So who would you pick? Has Casper, has she raced? She hasn't raced Super League 2 years ago. 2
years, I reckon.
Yeah.
It's been.
Yeah.
She's a bit of an American invasion there. It's like it's raining or something, isn't it? With all these Americans, all this water everywhere.
Yeah, there are so many Americans, but then the Americans are kind of packing out World Series start lists as well. So it's sort of not really that surprising that we've got, an influx of those. If I'm going to have to pick someone, I'm torn. I'm torn between Beth, who I think has a really rising profile. We saw how good she was at Arena Games. I think she was fourth overall in the series last year. And Leonie Perriot, again, she wasn't as good at Super League last year as I think a lot of people thought she was going to be, but she's already had a podium at World Series this year. She had a few last year as well. So I think on balance, I'll go Beth.
Yeah, it's hard not to. Although, who's always sneaky good? Rachel Clammer. Like you always think, oh, look, there goes. She came fourth. Oh, she came third again. Always, always, always consistent. Anyway, let's, that'll all the drafts and everything will become apparent in the coming weeks. When we do more short shoot shows, we'll have more details as well. We'll be announcing more athletes, but make sure you stay on the channels to make sure you're the first in the know. Let's talk about other stuff that happened. And it's good to have Vix here because Vicky doesn't know. Like, she's like, oh, should I retire? Should I not retire? And then she's like, oh, I'm on every single channel and I'm at every event. So I think we've decided, right, that now you're a pundit and you've moved into the
league.
No, keep racing. Keep racing.
I want you to keep racing too.
To be fair, all anyone I speak to who's in media and commentating, whatever, is all like, no, what's your favourite phrase to say to me? Well, you're a long time retired. You've got to carry on. And then I feel like the pressure. I'm like, okay, I should go back and get onto training again.
You're totally listening to me. I can tell.
Yeah, but it's you and about 100 people saying the same thing. But yeah, I'm giving myself this year. I'm doing as much of this chatting malarkey as I possibly can, and then I'll see.
All right, well, let's talk about Leeds. You were there. 57 women diving into Waterloo Lake. Cassandra Beaugrand, though, all class. Served a 10-second penalty. Still managed to hold off Georgia Taylor-Brown. Her swim was epic. Her run was amazing. Her bike was improving. And Georgia Taylor-Brown, an awful silver. So, if you're coming 56th and you're listening to Georgia, she's like, I felt awful. I was terrible. I came second. You're just like, well, thanks so much, GTB.
Taxi.
Georgia coming second on a bad day is a real warning shot, isn't it? As if you know, her performance in Yokohama wasn't impressive enough, to then say in Leeds that she just felt a bit flat and she couldn't get a wetsuit off and that nothing kind of went right for her on the day. I mean, gosh, watch out when she's on a good day, hey? But I think we have to talk about Kassan first, because she was phenomenal, to be honest. Like, that wasn't a particularly fast course, especially the run. I mean, those of you who watched it probably saw that the whole thing was up or down. When it looked flat on TV, it wasn't. It was a false flat. So it was just an absolutely brutal bike and run. And she still ran about 16:10, I think, off the bike, never looking in danger. And she had time to spare when she took that 10-second penalty as well. She was pretty flawless. I think we probably would have seen something relatively similar from her in Yokohama, but she crashed out of that one. She was sort of caught behind a sort of German entanglement, which I know she was pretty devastated about. So she was super impressive. And then you got to talk about Sophie. I mean, Sophie was just so, I don't know, confident in the way she raced. And I love seeing that from her. She's kind of been on the circuit for a few years, coming through, but hadn't really had loads of results. And just within the last year, she's really gone, right, I'm not going to be the nearly woman anymore. I'm going to take every race, attack it. And we're just seeing results from her. And I just love that.
Yeah, Sophie Caldwell. Obviously, she had a bronze in Leeds a year ago, and then off the back of that super strong bike, and it was a tough bike course, and she's been doing a lot of cycling. We're going to see more of her. Tim, what did you think of the women's race? Another person I want to point out is Flora Duffy, who I was watching, and then she was in the bike breakaway with Taylor Spivey and Sophie, and then she just was gone. And I think she had COVID. She's had COVID again, and we might not see her in the next couple of races as she builds to Birmingham. But what was your take, Tim, on the race overall for the women's?
Yeah, I mean, I think Cassandra Beaugrand, she was absolutely, to lead she had not a perfect race. It's close to a perfect race, even with a penalty. She just needs to get her eyes tested because she didn't miss the mount line by this much. It was about that 2 bloody meters. Yeah. It's like taking off in the sandpit. What do you mean that's a no jump? But yeah, it was great racing. I think Sophie really comes into her own on the shorter stuff, the team relay, the sprint distance. We saw that in Abu Dhabi, and yeah, she did podium last year in Leeds, off a big bike breakaway with some strong women. But yeah, I think the way the sports go in shorter, faster, more aggressive, or the swim is key. And technically, she's improved a lot. She's been racing for the Loughborough Lightning Criterium team. So yeah, it was great to see her up there. But yeah, Georgia having an off day. And the great thing about her is, I don't think it wasn't an excuse. She wasn't saying, "Oh, I would have won if I had a good day." She was just like, yeah, she's just so chilled. Yeah, I didn't feel my best, but I still gave it 100%. So yeah, she's very, very impressive. Flora, yeah, I guess she flew to Yokohama, flew all the way home. So she was only in Japan for less than a week. Then she flew straight to Chattanooga to do a 70.3. Then she got COVID. Then she flew back to Boulder. So she's lots of flying, lots of altitude, not altitude. I just think it caught up with her. Her run wasn't top in Yokohama. So with what had happened to her since then, it was never going to be right up there. But I was surprised she got dropped on the bike. And again, Taylor, just the fact that she was injured last year, and she's, to hit her first big race and to be relatively dominant. I know she got 4th, but I think that's going to really put the wind in her sails for Montreal in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, Annie, what about you? What are your thoughts there, especially on Flora? Because as I said before, she said now she might not race the next couple because she's got to go to Birmingham. And then she also might not, as you said, Tim, she didn't race in Chattanooga. So she needs to find a way to qualify for 70.3 Worlds. And that cutoff is on the 3rd of July. So she's got some interesting decisions to make. And she could, if she doesn't, obviously, race the next couple as she looks to defend her Commonwealth Games gold medal, she might drop out of the reckoning for the overall.
Yeah, I tell you what, she might have been lacking a little bit physically and in terms of sort of race fitness, but she had her wits about her. Did anyone see the incident where she dropped back with Cassandra Beaugrand? I think some people picked up on it and some people didn't.
Yeah,
so she dropped back with her and then rode away from her because she didn't want Cassandra. She knows she can't go out on the run with her at the moment. And that was a magnificent moment. It's worth looking back, So she dropped back and then attacked, dropped Cassandra, got back on with Sophie. and Taylor, but unfortunately then herself didn't sort of have the gas to go with them. She'll be back. She's such an incredible champion, an incredible athlete, and the way she goes about her training. But so about you, Tim, but that's a big ask on the body, isn't it? To be sort of 70.3, to be doing that much travel, and also let's not forget she's sort of mid-30s now. The body doesn't quite recover as well, as it would have done, when you're sort of in your 20s and stuff. But
wait till she hits her 40s. Bloody hell.
Mm-hmm.
About 50. And then, but Commonwealth Games is looming. It's not so far away now. So, but yeah, and then the one other thing, because you guys have said everything I think that needs to be said, but there was something. I hate to use these comparisons of sort of athletes with athletes, but Vic Gwynnesque wasn't there about Cassandra Beaugrand, like the swim, the beautiful relaxed swimming stroke, the ability to just run away from people with those great big long legs that she's got, and just makes it look so easy. But the one thing Cassandra's got to do, and Mac has always said this, is just nail the technical part of the racing, and she does she knows herself, she crops up and they're silly mistakes. I mean, watching her get on before the dismount line, I mean, I might have done it, but I'm blind as a bat. But, she can't afford to make those mistakes. So, but moving forward, she's so young, and I'm quite sure she'll get on top of them. And there's going to be many more victories. I'd like to see her take on an Olympic distance race, which we haven't seen her do, and win it, because at the moment her wins on WTS races are all sprint. And I'd love to see her go the full distance, which I'm sure she's totally capable of. But I think we're yet to see that from her.
Yeah, her athletic times were incredible. But as you said, her transitions and her mistakes, they creep in. And maybe there was something in the water in France before this, because she got on before the mountain line. Vince just didn't get off his bike at all. He just kept going straight through, off the back of the motorbike, came around the corner. He's like, I've dropped Leo Bergier here. What's happened to Leo? Oh, and
it was 17 laps, so it's a lot to count, wasn't it? 17. Was it 22 laps?
It was 5 laps.
I mean, is it okay to say that was funny? I mean, the fact that he's all fine.
It was farcical.
To watch the replay, you're just like, holy shit, what is he doing?
You know what I appreciate about it is that he didn't go like with 200 meters to go to transition. Oh shit, I don't know how many laps we've done. He was like, exactly. I'm 100% committed to this being the second last lap. I'm going to go.
He was off the front. He was off the front with a French guy, so he could have, and I don't think they're best mates, but I'm sure he wouldn't have said, yes, you have 6 more laps. I'm sure he would have said, this is our last lap.
6 laps.
Yeah, Leo's a nice guy. I don't think he would have stitched him up. Leo's too nice.
No, absolutely.
But how about his bike handling skills, though, to realise and not bin it, I thought was pretty good. And then to be able to turn it around, I think he's actually... And then finishing the top 10 after paying the penalty was quite the journey for Vince. Plenty of controversy anyway as well with... and you've stitched him up here, Tim, but Hayden Wilde undoubtedly causing a huge accident, probably on purpose if you ask Tim Don, to be fair. Very contrite racing incident early in the bike leg that took down Johnny Brownlee and Alex Yee, and obviously Hayden felt terrible because potentially it could be Johnny's last.
And his teammate as well. He took his teammate down.
Oh yeah, and Dylan McCulloch and Kevin McDowell, the forgotten man who Kevin nobody even mentioned that he was also taken out.
Oh
yeah.
no,
I've seen the crash now.
Yeah,
Have
me
you
too.
guys seen the crash?
The bike flying up in the air and all that.
Yeah.
It was serious stuff, but. Obviously, terrible news for Johnny. He's got a broken elbow. Alex seems okay, I think. But the Falcon
he's just going through what's it called? Concussion protocol. Just that's like the federation but I think he's just bruised. And he's got lots of road rash on his back. But yeah, he's all good.
Well, these things happen, but what a race it was, Vicky. I mean, you were there calling it. What did you think of the men's race overall? Hayden ended up passing Leo Bergier at the back end, but Bergier was strong, but Hayden was stronger.
I think everyone kind of wants to see Leo win one now. He's been on the podium so many times, third usually every time until this weekend where he stepped up another one. So he's now up to silver. He's strong all round, Leo. He doesn't seem to have a weakness. And if anything, he's getting stronger and stronger. His relay leg on the Sunday was phenomenal. He absolutely brought France back into the race because they were at the back and he brought them back in again. Hayden, crash incident aside, which, as we said, he's put his hands up and said, I think that was me. When you watch the video, as we've all done, you can't really, it doesn't show anything in terms of what happened before. You just sort of see bikes flying and people on the floor. The good news from the British side is that Johnny is looking like only maybe even 10 days out the water. So we're hoping that he's going to be back swimming pretty soon. It's as good a break as you possibly could have, apparently. Not that you ever want to break an elbow, but it's a pretty good one. And I've heard as well that Alex has passed his concussion testing now, so he's okay to get back in. So bit of a deep breath from us. Hopefully that means that, Hayden can kind of release some of that guilt that he's probably still feeling, but don't take anything away from his performance. He was exceptional. I thought he raced really smartly. He obviously tried to go after the break, then got swallowed back into the main group, conserved some energy, ran really well. He was just looking every inch. The guy who stepped on from everything he did last year.
What about you, Annie? Thoughts on the men's race? There's a few guys. I don't know much about Lurs or Priester, the two lassies. I should say that. I don't know much about them, honestly. Who finished 3rd and 5th, but some new names there in the top 10.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about the two Germans there is they've kind of snuck through, haven't they, over the last couple of years? There's kind of been a slight changing of the guards, and I kind of feel a little bit for Jonas Schumberg, because he was kind of, one of the top Germans, and he's kind of slipped down now because those two German athletes are absolutely on fire. And Lurs, he looked amazing. He really did. We're going to see a lot more from those guys, I think, this year. Definitely. Hayden Wild was absolutely brilliant. I felt for him as well. I wasn't there though, so I don't know. Well, I was there, but not by the accident. And it just seemed like, I just guess, heads down. You watch it in cycling, don't you? Heads down. There's that kind of panic. We need to pull back the French guys, and no one did anything deliberately. But I think that Johnny has suggested he feels like it was kind of dangerous riding, but. I'm keen to hear what Tim says. I didn't see it. I don't know how daft the incident was, how out, I guess, of place Hayden was. But yeah, I'm with Vicky there. Hayden is just on fire. He looks like he's the man to beat with Alex Yu this year.
I'm keen to hear what Tim says too. Very.
Hayden said his visa revoked. The British Embassy have revoked Hayden's visa. He is now not part of the Commonwealth, so he cannot compete in Birmingham. Let's take nothing away from Hayden. He raced fantastically. I've been in those situations where, there has been touches of wheels, and owning up is one thing, but it wasn't malicious. It wasn't deliberate. Let's clear that up straight away. And he could have been in the same situation again, and it could happen again. I think, it's harsh when the injured party, calls out the person who's done it. I'd rather speak to them on my own first and then go public, or not go public. It could have maybe been sorted out a little bit better. But I get Johnny, he's in the shape of his life. He really is. We're talking about Alex and Hayden, but Johnny was right up there racing aggressively like he did in Italy a couple of weeks ago. So I feel for Johnny because, 10 days, sorry, got a bit of a cold. 10 days out the... I am ill, yeah. But don't worry, I've got my COVID test. It's negative.
You can't infect us from here, but don't worry about it.
But I feel for Johnny because Commonwealth Games is big and the team relay is big. But Hayden had a great race. The French, the French men are dominant. The German women as well. They got 2 in the top 8. So their relay team was super strong. They got, their worst position on the Saturday was 8th. And, we are seeing new names. Jonas Schomburger, you mentioned him, Annie. He's already stepped up to 70.3. And again, going back to Flora, it could be Super League's gain, World 70.3's loss, because she might want to find some. If she doesn't really think logistically she can qualify because of the calendar, she might come to Super League. So Annie, get one of your fans to get their checkbook out.
And I have her as well. Is that right?
She's a former cheater. She wore the cheater orange, did she not, last year once?
She did indeed. Yes, she was a wild card in Malibu. So I'll take Flora any day of the week in Super League. Yeah.
No, you'll take
I'll
anyone.
sign her up now.
You came 4th. You'll take anyone. Hey?
I take the best. They're all brilliant. I think just going back actually to what Tim said, Yeah, it's a funny old thing, isn't it, with this racing? You know, a few people have said about how it was dangerous riding. It's like, God, isn't that bike racing? Isn't it? You know, I think we've all done something. We've all seen incidences where you've pulled out and haven't seen someone on your right or your left, or it's a funny one. We could chat all day about that, but anyway.
But I think,
it's good to hear Tim's point of view.
But triathletes can't ride a bike. In pro cycling, every stage of the Tour de France, there are multiple crashes. Yes, there are obviously the big ones, but in triathlon, I think the reason we make such a deal out of it is because it happens so infrequently. And it really does. So I think our skill level is way better than Van der Poel and Sagan and Ashley Moolman.
Yeah, undoubtedly.
You know.
But, you wait till I get out, when I get to Malibu and I have a big sign that says, "Hello, Grandma and Grandpa," and I stick it out the front, just like in the Tour de France. It's going to be carnage.
I'll be getting my selfie, leaning. I'll be going, oh, look, there's a cheetah. It's gone. There's Hayden. Gone.
Sorry, Falcon. What goes around comes
but
around.
We will see it more, won't we? Like with the shorter racing.
Yeah.
You know, had that been a 1,500 metre sprint, the athletes would have been more spread out. They wouldn't have been so closely packed together. You know, so there's going to be more crashes. It's the way of racing on a bike. You know, but anyway. There you go.
All right, we're coming to the end of the show. I want to get your thoughts, guys, as well about the Phoenix Sub-7, Sub-8 project. Two of you were there. I was there as well. We all banded together to make sure Annie wasn't there, and we succeeded in that. But she was...
That's not true. I've got an official invitation from Chris McCormack, the main man, I'll have you know.
Macca was so excited he was inviting everyone. Macca's inviting the guy that he buys coffee off. Don't worry.
That's true.
No, it was a wonderful event. We were proud to be a part of it. Tim was there thanks to Zwift. Vicky was there thanks to me. Yep, hiring her, and she did a superb job commentary.
All about Will.
She hasn't invoiced me yet, so I'm happy for that.
Get on that.
Yeah, get on that. I tell you what, Robbie McEwen sent it to me about 10 minutes after we went off air. He was right on top of it. But
he's in the chateau with Macca, isn't he?
Yep. Yeah. I see is photos of them at lunch. I think they're right about 30 days and have lunch for 5 hours.
Annie, you should go over there to get some of those guys to buy into the cheetahs. They looks like their pockets are deep.
Yeah, that's true.
Just go strap my stuff a little bit and get them on board. Yeah,
you should.
That's a good point.
I'm pretty sure they've all put on weight during this cycling trip by the look of what the Instagram is happening. But Tim? Let's start with you. What did you think of the event? What did you think of how it's placed? I mean, obviously there was a bit of chat beforehand about what's the point of this? It's not a real race. Not that we or Phoenix ever said that it was going to be one, but over the course, you could even see it over the course of the telecast of people coming up. Suddenly the narrative is, oh my God, this is amazing. It's so fast. It's so, it's not meant to be a race. It was, in terms of a world record time, but it was two fantastic races in their own right.
I think, what you said, it's irrelevant. It's, like the original Breaking 2 and then Sub 2. We are seeing what people can do under certain circumstances. And what the Phoenix Foundation did is bring 4 world-class athletes, 2 of them relatively last minute due to the nature of our sport being so brutal on the body with, unfortunately, injuries to Alistair and Lucy. But, we witnessed, absolutely what the human body can do. And I think the fact that we actually had such close racing, obviously with Nicola and Kat staying within literally 2.5 over, 7 hours 30, they stayed within 2.5 minutes of each other. That was the furthest they were apart, literally the whole race. It just goes to show you, how close we are to that glass ceiling. And that was just, and the tactics, the different tactics were just amazing. And on the men's race, we had again, we had a big lead out the water, then the comeback on the bike, and obviously the run. There was the pass as well. But I think it was just a show of how amazing triathlon is across any distance. The fact that we had 4 amazing athletes absolutely given their heart and soul to the race was just phenomenal. And the teammates how they were working. I was there more behind the scenes than actually commentating on it. And it was just great to see. And I think, triathlon won. And I think we can definitely see faster. But I think we can only see faster because someone has gone out there and done it first. So I'm really excited to see where that path is going to go. But I think all those naysayers, they definitely would have turned turn their opinion when they saw the coverage, which don't get me started on coverage. I've had a bit of a rant lately on coverage, but this coverage was some of the best long course, if not the best long course coverage I've seen, I'm blown away by the weekend. I really was.
What about you, Vix?
Yeah, I think there's a dog.
Was that parsley or whatever?
It's not Mabel.
It's not Winnie.
It's waiting for its foie gras.
It's brunch time, mummy.
Okay, back to sub 7. I genuinely was surprised at how good just the whole event was. Not that I thought it was going to be crap, but I really was genuinely surprised from everything from the organisation to the broadcast to the team element to how into it, I really was by the end. I was down at the finish line to interview the girls as they came across the line. And I was emotional. I was feeling like they're all getting emotional for each other, and I'm feeling that as well. And I've got no kind of affiliation really to either of these girls or their teams. And it was really special. I can't really convey how amazing it was kind of seeing them and seeing the genuine gratitude they had for their teammates. And they all spoke, the girls and the guys, Kat, Nicola, Christian, Joe, they all spoke about how their teams made it possible and how incredible their teams were and how selfless they were. It was just a really great spectacle and just so much better and faster than we all thought it was going to be. We thought that they could all do it. We thought they could break the barriers, but we had no idea really where they were going to land. And, Joe's time especially was ridiculed before the start. There's no way you're going to get a 3:20 on the bike. He went 3:16. I mean, it was just mind-blowing. I don't think it's really truly talked about enough how amazing that feat was. Robbie McEwen said no chance. Joe's target time, didn't he? Robbie wanted us to set up a whole new target for Joe, and Joe was like, "No, I'm not having that. I'm going to do this," and they did. And it was just, for a really long broadcast, so good. I can't say enough good things about it, really.
Well, thank you for being a part of it. And Annie, you would have watched on from home. I don't know if you did or not, but if you did, what are your thoughts about it, and also where it sits in terms of, we always think the 4-minute mile was broken after so long and then it was broken the next week. And Tim kind of touched on that in terms of, now someone's done this and they show that it's possible to do. And for me, especially, it was the team thing that got me. If we're ever going to do another one, and it might not be for a time, but it might be just purely to bring the team elements into this again. I think that would be really cool to just have more pacemakers and do more, whether it's a Ryder Cup style thing with, even Collins Cup style thing, but with pacemakers. But anyway, that's for down the track. But Annie, what did you think?
I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And I guess Vicky, I never thought it was going to be crap, but I never thought it. I thought the whole concept was amazing. I loved it because I love to see how far you can push the human body and what it's capable of. And I always truly believe that it's far more capable than people believe. But the coverage was amazing. I hate to big you up, Will, but I thought you did a really grand job. And, and I'm with Tim, I think it's quite hard. We haven't really sold sort of long distance triathlon, whether we're talking halves or Ironman, that well, I think, in terms of commentary. But you guys did an amazing job. It was incredible. I couldn't believe how sucked in I was to it. I just thought it was amazing. And it wasn't a race. So people can rant out there about whatever. You guys never said it was going to be a race. It was all about how fast can these guys go. Joe was incredible to step in at the last minute, as was Kat Matthews. The British guys are there, aren't they? God, how good are we guys? Honestly, sorry, Will, but
there weren't any
pretty damn good. Pretty damn good.
I mean, we all knew Christian was just that guy is off the scale. But Joe was brilliant. What a character, what a ride, and Kat Matthews, bloody hell, so the whole thing was stunning, absolutely just stunning, and to see what triathletes are capable of. We get knocked often, don't we, about, you're kind of half decent at swim, bike, run, but I just thought that was a magnificent, to use one of Macca's favourite words, display of, what the human body is capable of, really. There we go.
if you really wanted to nail Macca, you'd be like, it was remarkable.
Remarkable.
Everything is remarkable with that guy. It's if he ever says that you're being remarkable, don't put any stock in it at all. That's like him just saying the sun's hot. That's just how he operates. He's not the wordsmith like Vicky Holland, so that's why we've upgraded to you, Vix, and maybe you'll stay from now on. Let's hope so. We have run out of time. There's so much more to cover, but we've run out of time because it's the school run for Pugsley and Annie and Tim. And Tim, what's your dog's name?
Mabel. She's called Mabel.
Oh, God damn. What's wrong with Rover or like, just a normal
Mabel.
dog's name?
She's called Mabel Marvellous Stunt. That's what it says on her collar.
On that note,
Oh my God.
I'm out of here, guys.
Oh.
So I will see everyone soon.
Goodbye, Pugsley. Goodbye, Winnie. Goodbye, Mabel. Goodbye, team. Stay tuned for more short shows. What a weird show this was. All right, there you go. SuperLeagueTriathlon.com for all the details as we move closer to September and the championship season.